Hello again, this is Bill Eman, and this is our continuing series on frequently asked questions about the network marketing industry, hopefully giving you some insight into things you need to be thinking about if you're making a decision as to whether this is an industry you want to get involved with or about a particular company that you're looking into. So today's question is focused on why do many people fail in network marketing? And I hesitate to use that word fail because that is a very subjective word. Fail against what criteria? You know, very often people have rather unrealistic expectations about what it takes to build a successful network marketing business, whether they've been led astray by some of the hype and media and whatever about this industry. Having a clear goal and having a strategy to reach that goal when you get started in this business is extremely important. And the goal needs to be realistic. It can't be that, you know, at the end of 6 months, I need to be making $10,000 a month. I mean, it's not unheard of that that happens, but that is the rare exception. So failing and not reaching the success level that you really want are kind of two different things. What typically happens is that people expect everyone to see what they saw. When you watch a presentation about a particular company, product, service, and it gets you excited, which it needs to if it's something, if this is an industry that you're going to be interested in, you just expect everybody else is going to see things the same way. Well, just think about the last time you sat in a group of people and you talked about, you know, your favorite politician. Yeah, we don't have favorite politicians. You talked about a baseball team or whatever. You're going to have a lot of differing opinions, and that certainly happens in network marketing. You think people are going to see everything the way you saw it. It doesn't happen that way. This is kind of what we used to call a sifting and sorting business. You have to sift through a whole lot of people to find people who are like-minded, who think the way you do. Fortunately, with the internet, it's a whole lot easier to find those people than it used to be even 5 or 6 years ago. So it typically is a function of being disappointed that gets people, you know, kind of headed on that spiral downward that ends up getting them out of this industry. They expect to make big bucks without big effort. And I will tell you, and you know this from whatever industry, whatever business you've been in the past, the people that work the hardest are typically the ones that make the most money. And, you know, people will say, well, look at the executives, you know, they don't work very hard. Yeah, well, they're normally the ones that are there at 6 in the morning and they're the ones leaving at 8 at night, and they're doing something in between those hours. So bottom line is it takes effort to make money in this business, and you know, the people that have the unrealistic expectations never quite reach there. People are unprepared for the disappointments. And if there was one reason that people so-called fail in network marketing is that they weren't prepared up front, and they don't know how to manage their disappointment. Because the vast, you know, you talk to 100 people, 3 or 4 are going to be interested. Well, that's a lot of people. And people who can't deal with the fact that not everybody's going to be interested are not going to be long for this business. Again, because of the internet, those numbers are much better because you're dealing with people who are already interested, at least in the industry you're in or the product you have or something like that. Frustrated by lack of support. You know, very often I've been with 3 network marketing companies and still with 2. And I have gone through certain frustrated times because the company didn't have the training or the support that I needed. Well, I finally figured out that sometimes you have to go outside of your company to find the training to do video presentations, to write a blog, to write articles, to do any number of things, to, you know, market your business on Twitter and Facebook. It's not hard. It is very simple and it is very cost effective, but you need to get the support that you need. In many cases, people quit this business because they just don't feel that they're getting that support. Analysis paralysis is a killer in any business. It's a killer in this business because a lot of people feel they have to be an expert in the product. They have to understand everything about the compensation plan before they can even consider sharing it with anybody because they're afraid that they won't have the answer. Well, here's a clue for you. You don't need all the answers. There are people in your company that have all the answers. There's a video on it. There's a CD on it. So you just don't need to. Your job basically is to get your company and your company's product or service in front of as many people as you possibly can. Other people who so-called fail in this industry are people who don't plug in. There are training calls, there are meetings and events to go to, and they choose not to do that. Well, you do that at your own peril. That's where you meet other people. That's where you talk about issues that you're having and what are other people doing to resolve those issues. If you just don't plug in, it's going to be very hard to build your business. Not impossible, but why go the hard way? Why not do it the easy way? It's coming to grips with the time factor, and gee, it's going to take a little time. Well, to do anything well, it's going to take some time. This is not the kind of business where you just, you put in 5 hours a week and you're going to make tons of money. It doesn't happen. And lastly, the reason that many people fail in this industry, in all honesty, they're underfunded and overwhelmed. And what I simply mean by that is they didn't have a realistic idea that, yeah, it's going to cost $200 to get started in this business, but they're incurring costs on a monthly basis. There may be some training things that you need to do. There's certainly, home office expenses, internet. There may be some marketing, advertising expenses. You need to have a budget when you first get started. It doesn't have to be big, and certainly with the internet, it doesn't have to be very big at all to generate people who are interested in hearing what you have to say. But if you don't know how to do that, then it is a problem. And for somebody who has been unemployed for 6 months with no financial resource, this is a hard industry to get started in. Again, not impossible, because they have perhaps a little more motivation than some other people will. But and overwhelm. You start any new job, I don't care what it is, in the first 2 or 3 weeks you're going to be overwhelmed. There's all kinds of policies and procedures and people that you don't know that you got to know, and all kinds of things going on that you have to learn. And in the very beginning in this industry, it's hard to perhaps work through that because everything seems so overwhelming. The key to that is understanding that you don't need to know everything, and you need to learn it as you go along. You build on your knowledge, just like anything else. So those are kind of the key reasons why people so-called fail in this industry. I think what it really comes down to is this is the kind of industry where you'll be successful if you don't quit and you take action and you're consistent and persistent. That kind of sounds like the prescription for success in most things, and it certainly is. I hope that's been helpful. Thank you very much for listening. If you'd like to watch 15 other free videos, please go to the website underneath my chin. My phone number is in the credits at the end. If you'd like to ask any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.